Today, I want to speak about the child's belief, I am alone. Now, you can imagine a young being, baby, young child, toddler, who experiences painful situations where they feel abandoned because they need something from the parent who's supposed to be there to care, to love them, to protect them, and so forth. And in crucial moments, no one came. Someone described seeing herself in a crib at age 4, not appropriate for a child to be, asking, crying for someone to come because she didn't want to be there. This is probably only one of experiences like that, where a child needed a parent and the parent didn't come. So, what is the result of an experience like this? It's not conceptual, but a sense. I am alone. No one in this world right now, just by me, just with me. And I have nothing I can rely on, no person, but myself. So, being alone in the world by him or herself, the young child develops a strategy of self-reliance. This in the adult looks like a pattern of always being the one to take care of the responsibilities in front of her or him, because there's no one to rely on to do it. That's the unconscious belief. So unless he or she did it, it wouldn't get done. And this is being a mother in a family, or being a mother, a person in a larger family, or at work, in teams, in friendships, being the one who would take charge, because that's how they formed their survival strategy. If they didn't take charge, then nothing from their point of view would be done. And therefore, this also carries on two themes. One is, when you feel this way, I am alone, growing up, you're in a shell all by yourself, and you don't have any natural tendency to reach out. So you can likely be an introvert, the shy one, the one that's a wallflower. This can also lead to situations, if someone pays attention to you, breaking through your sense of being unconnected to others. It gets your attention. And because the heart really does long for connection, you become a target for anyone who wants to use you in any way. You have no resistance because you have a starving heart that needs love. And most any kind of attention looks like love. So, as a teenager, you go out with a person who pays attention to you. As an adult, that's what you do. And then you might end up marrying that person, only to discover that they were a basic narcissist. And you stood in it until you could no longer stay there, found a way to survive and get out. And that can be repeated through relationships, through other marriages, where because of the ability to someone who can see or sense how desperate you are for connection, they will come after you and use you because it was all about them and their needs. So this is one way in which I am alone can lead to patterns of being hurt by others in this way. Self-reliance, as I mentioned earlier, means you're the person who will take charge of any responsibility not taken up by other people. So at work, you're doing the most of the work. And in teams, you are not satisfied to depend on others to come through. You can't trust. So there's the other word. So you're not a good team player in that you do too much and you're never comfortable because you don't know whether you can trust others. So trust is also an issue for a child that feels I am alone. And that trust or mistrust is everywhere. Can't trust others, can't trust yourself. Because after all, how did you get into the situation where you found yourself alone so young? The conclusion, the sense is, it was my fault. I did something. I wasn't good enough. I made a mistake. And with that core wound of not enough, I made an error. I deserve nothing good because of this. Leads to so many other scripts of scarcity, for example. If you are alone and feel you're to blame, what can you claim for yourself? This whole issue of scarcity can go on too, which I will work on at another time. So this is my musing on the belief of a child, I am alone. So what is the solution to this? The young child's experience as a human is that the child felt alone. But in the bigger picture, none of us are alone because Creator being, in creating, allowing the creation of the world we live in, never left us because Creator being is of love. So the presence of Creator's love is always there. It's an all of creation because that is the nature of Creator being. And this being or spirit as one of love, the presence is there always. But as humans, we get hurt and we forget that we're connected in that way and that presence is always there. So part of the journey of healing the inner child is, of course, to heal the wounds in the ways that I have described most effectively with superconscious. In addition to that, because superconscious is a divine expression of you or your divinity express, you always have that aspect, that part of you. You're never alone. So if you can develop through some practice, some system, as I have, to feel that you're always walking with the greater being, with spirit, you know you're not alone. So That concludes this video. Please write your questions and comments, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.